There are very nice views of the old town on this side. It looks so pretty. I loved all the towers and everything.
Hi guys! We are on a short trip in Estonia, one of the Baltic states in the northern part of Europe. And today we are taking you with us to explore the heart of its capital, Tallinn. A city where charming streets, medieval towers and picturesque buildings come together like something from a fairy tale. We will be walking through the old town, discovering beautiful places and uncovering a bit of history along the way. So come join us and let's go!
We are going to enter the old town of Tallinn here through this great coastal gate. That's the name of this gate. And it was protecting the old town from the sea. There on the opposite side is the sea. We can't see it now. There is a lot of traffic and a lot of buildings. And this big tower is called Fat Margaret. And it's not really known if it's because it's so fat or
because Margaret was fat.
Yeah, I was reading that maybe there was an old cook living there in the tower called Margaret, probably. I don't know. And it's very big. It was holding cannons, so they were shooting like the enemy ships that were attacking from the sea.
This behind me is St. Olaf's Church. It is believed to be built in the 12th century, and they claim that at one point it was the highest building in the world, but we have no idea if that was true.
It still looks pretty high to me, so maybe it was true once. Tallinn's city walls were once 2.5 kilometers long with more than 40 defensive towers, and today half of it is still standing, so that's very nice. You can see it continues this way as well and around the town. It looks so pretty, the towers are everywhere and they look so fairy tale like, so we really like it. It's so pretty. Here on the other side, you can see them too. Come here. We can see at least another two, and here one, but very towards the sun, so it's blinding. But it's really pretty.
It looks like they have a community garden here, at least that's what we call it in Czech. And I see they already planted pumpkins and they are flowering. Mine are still waiting in a pot because of the late spring frosts, but I guess it doesn't freeze here by the sea, so they could have planted it sooner. I'm still waiting for Peter to build raised garden beds like these for me.
They look amazing. This would look great in our garden. And we need the towers as a backdrop.
You can build those as well.
I would live there.
Love it.
I see strawberries as well and other herbs.
We see a lot of stuff we already have in our garden.
It looks so pretty here. I feel like in a fairy tale. I really love the towers. They look amazing. And with the garden, so idyllic. Yay! It's so wonderful to walk here in the medieval streets. The surroundings are really pretty. We can now see the tall church from here, and wow. This is the Alexander Nevsky Cathedral, and it was built in the late 1800s by the Russians in the times of Russification. It was meant to show the imperial dominance, so it was quite controversial. But architecturally, it's quite beautiful. This is the building of the Parliament of Estonia. I can see the sign there, and it looks very pretty. I like the pink color with the golden thingy up there. The Parliament building is actually the Toompea Castle, and it was built in the 13th century by the Danes. They were ruling here, and over the centuries it was rebuilt many times, but it was often the place to rule the city from by various rulers. So yeah, and today it houses the Estonian Parliament. We can see the castle better from here. It's so pretty. And I can tell you a little bit of history. So at first, under the rule of Valdemar II in Denmark, the Danes conquered the area of Estonia and Tallinn, the town, as well. And they ruled here from 1200s to 1500s. Then Tallinn fell under Sweden. So it was under Sweden, and it was actually a good time for Estonia or for Tallinn. That's what I was reading. And southern parts of the country, there were also Germans. So there was a lot of Germans, like German nobility, living here. And then from the 1700s, there was the Great Northern War, and all of this was under Russia all of a sudden. So it was occupied until 1918. That's when Estonia declared the independence for the first time. But then after the Second World War, they were occupied by Russia again, so they were part of the Soviet Union. And only in the 90s, after the Soviet Union fell, Estonia started being an independent country again.
This is St. Mary's Cathedral. It's from the 13th century, and apparently it's the oldest church in Tallinn and in mainland Estonia. And also it's the only building which survived a fire in this part of the town.
there are views. We can see parts of the old town here, and it looks so beautiful. I love the towers. There are so many of them. It's amazing. And the big church, wow.
Yeah.
Very, very nice. There are many embassies here in the old town. Here we can see France, so the French embassy, and there are many various flags everywhere.
For a city with so many churches, you might be surprised to learn that Estonia is actually one of the most non-religious countries in the world, right alongside the Czech Republic, which is our home. These beautiful buildings mostly serve as historical landmarks today, reminders of a different past.
Hello.
You found a very nice spot here.
Nice beach.
This is Saint Nicholas Church, and it's a church building from the 13th century. It was partially destroyed by the Soviet bombing of Tallinn in the World War II, and without its own congregation, like the building was restored, but there is no congregation of the church, so there hasn't been any religious activity since World War II. This is the main square here in the old town. There are so many pretty houses, but the main thing is this. This is the town hall.
The grand
but
finale.
Sadly, they are renovating. This is often the case in many old European cities, that the old buildings are under renovation. Anyway, I can show you some pictures or something. It's Gothic town hall, and it's one of its kind in the whole of Northern Europe.
Yeah, we can see that. I've never seen anything like it.
I'm sure it's very beautiful and unique.
I really like this house, which is so narrow.
So narrow. It would be interesting to live there.
But it's not that tiny. I think it would be enough for us.
This is Rajaptek, and it's been here since 1422. It's the longest continuously running pharmacy in Europe, and they used to sell things like mummy powder or snake skin or something, so that's very interesting. And maybe we can take a look here. I'm not sure. The staircase already, it looks old. It's been probably changed since 1422, but wow. Yeah, there is a souvenir shop, and here is the pharmacy, like normal one. It looks so interesting here. Wow, there are so many things. And yeah, it's so medieval. And there is still a modern pharmacy here as well, so they sell drugs and medicines and everything until this day, really. Wow. And look at the plague mask. It has this shape because in the front there were herbs and also a vinegar sponge to repel all the evil stuff, evil spirits. Wow, there is a bed and everything. Huh. It's so interesting. Very nice find, this pharmacy. This is the Catherine's Passage, Katariina cake in Estonian, I hope so. Wow, and it's so cute, it looks so medieval here. There is even this bar or a restaurant. Huh. So pretty. I like such places. And there is a square here, a hidden one. And such a pretty street, look! Oh my god! So pretty, yay!
Catherine's Alley, formerly known as Monk's Alley, goes past the southern end of the Dominican monastery. St. Catherine's Church, which lent the alley its name, is thought to have been built more than 700 years ago. The southern side of the alley is lined with predominantly 15th to 17th century buildings. The alley as a whole retains its medieval charm and was last restored in 1995.
This is Viru Gate, and this is one of the most photographed places in Tallinn. These two towers, they date back to 14th century, and you enter the old town here, but the gates, there are two, and they are quite small. Come here. It's just a normal small gate, little one, but maybe in between the towers in the past there was a big gate. I'm not sure. I think the two small gates would be practical in defending the city because they are easier to control, and there was probably like a normal wall in between the two towers, I would suspect. There are a lot of parks here in Tallinn. Look at these enormous walks, fallen trees, wow. And we really like that there is quite a lot of greenery. You can relax here, and we were eating our snacks, and it's very nice.
We are in another park. There are quite a few of them here in Tallinn. I think it's nice to mix the city with some greenery and relax a little bit. So that's what we are doing now.
We went to have lunch and later explored other parts of the city, which we will show you in the next video. But after that, we had to return to the old town, because we still didn't have enough. We walked up to the Toompea hill again to enjoy the prettiest views of the town. At least we thought they were amazing from this spot.
There are very nice views of the old town on this side. It looks so pretty. I loved all the towers and everything, all the church towers, but we can see the towers of the city walls, and I'm always amazed. They look so picturesque to me. It's gorgeous.
By the end of the day, we were just kinda wandering around, with no real goal anymore. We had already seen most of the main sights in the old town, so we were just enjoying the streets, taking in the vibe and filming a bit as we walked. It was starting to get quieter, which we liked. Fewer people around, a bit of evening light, and just a nice feeling after a full day of exploring. We passed a few spots we hadn't noticed earlier, some pretty views, side streets, little details you miss when you are rushing around. Then we came across this quiet courtyard. It's called Shoti Park, kinda tucked away just off the street. It felt like a little hidden garden, really green and calm, with benches and trees.
Wow, such a beautiful hidden corner. Ha!
And nobody
So-
here.
Yeah, we saw this on our map and look, we can sit here and relax. So peaceful. I love such hidden corners. It's quite fun to discover these places hidden from the main street, and you never know if it's a private yard, but this is open and the gate was very welcoming, and this is a public park.
And that is all we have from the old town of Tallinn. Hopefully you liked walking the streets with us. As I mentioned earlier, we visited also other parts of the city, so we will show you that next time.
It looks so modern here. The architecture is really different to what we are used to. I know everything. I was reading about it just seconds ago.
And we'll also take a look at where we were staying.
We live next to this building that looks like an old former factory or something.
But for now, that's it. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to give us a thumbs up, and see you guys next time. Bye!